appear to possibly have a 22 CR 2234 CCAT case that includes rape, false imprisonment, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit, a rules and an ag battery that was reduced to misdemeanor battery. That arrest was in 2011 in Rock jail. An officer and a large amount of contraband was confiscated.
God damn.
He is likely to reoffend, and he is a danger to the community. Thank you, Mr. Richardson. We'll move on to the next matter.
Okay, here we go. Finally.
Position number 2, Eligio Bishop.
No, she's not China 504. She looked like China 504. It was a joke.
And if I can just have one moment to pull that up as well.
It was a joke, y'all.
Okay, Mr. Bishop is currently being held in no bond.
Now we took all the tea from Drama's down. She ain't got no tea over there.
That was
My
denied
bad,
at
girl.
first appearance on April 3rd, 2023. The incident date is March 11th, 2023, and it is at the DeKalb County Jail. The facts as we know them to be at this time are that the defendant was caught attempting to have contraband delivered to his cell at the DeKalb County Jail. Approximately 2 weeks prior, the defendant's cell was searched and a large amount of contraband was confiscated from his cell at that time. Officers then began monitoring his phone calls, and in the weeks leading up to March 11th, 2023, he received calls from his 3 wives. All 3 women would be on the calls at the same time. In these calls, the defendant gave the women detailed instructions on how to load contraband onto a drone. He instructed them on how much contraband the drone could carry, and he instructed them to make sure that the drone was the same color as the outside of the jail, and to make sure that the contraband was packaged in that same color as well. On March 11th, 2023, officers observed a drone approach the window of the suspect's pod at the jail, and officers observed a broomstick emerge from his window. The string holding the contraband to the drone broke, and the contraband fell to the ground where it was recovered by officers. DeKalb Sheriff's Office had been observing the defendant, and he was found to have contraband in his cell, which included a cell phone. As they listened to his jail calls, he had instructed his 3 wives that they were on the call together to purchase a drone, the same color as the jail. The packaging should be the same color and weight, and also a certain weight. And then they obviously saw all this happen. The drone was recovered, and it had the narcotics in it. As to his criminal history, arrests date back to 2006. Convictions include an ag battery that was reduced to misdemeanor battery. That arrest was in 2011 in Rockdale County, and he was convicted in 2013. He has a license charge out of Conyers that he pled nolo to in 2012. And then he has some cases that were dismissed or time expired. And then he has in Hawaii in 2020 a rules and orders misdemeanor that he was convicted of and got 90 days to serve. As to he does appear to possibly have a 22 CR 2234 CCAT case that includes rape, false imprisonment, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions, 3 counts. And we are asking that he remain in no bond status.
Y'all, can y'all keep the hot gifts going? We need to get to this 3rd box, y'all.
He is a risk of
I need 10 of my angels to send 99 messages
to the community based on his pending case and the risk of intimidating witnesses and otherwise obstructing justice. He's still communicating with his wives while they are his co-conspirators in his rape case and ordering them to commit more crimes at his behest while he's in custody. we've spoken, an ADA with our office has spoken with the deputy at the jail and was informed that this is not his first issue with contraband. And we are asking that he remain in no bond status at this time. We are working on getting it scheduled for grand jury and anticipate that it will be scheduled prior to the 90 days.
All right, counsel.
Yes, thank
This
you,
is his
Judge.
new lawyer. She's
A
very
little bit
pretty.
about my client. He's 41 years old. He does have strong ties to Georgia. He's been connected to Georgia for the past 20 years. If released on bond in his cases, he will reside at a home locally. He's earned his high school diploma. He's also earned a business certificate from Job Corp. Per Mr. Bishop, he was honorably discharged from the military, the Army branch in 2002.
This is new
He's
lawyer.
also a licensed barber, and in the past, he's owned his own barbershop, Bishop.
She don't believe nothing she's saying.
Which he operated successfully for about 2 years before he sold it for a profit. Prior to his arrest, he had a huge online presence on social media as an influencer and a spiritual teacher or a philosopher.
A liar.
He had been doing that for the past 8 years. He is legally married to one person, although he is facing divorce proceedings. He is a father of 4 minor children, ages 3, 4, 8, and 13. Prior to his arrest, he was very involved in their lives, and he is a very supportive father.
Bullshit.
Regarding his criminal history, he's not on probation. He's not on parole. He has no prior felony convictions.
But yeah,
He
he's in
does have a
jail.
misdemeanor battery charge from about 10 years ago. He does have one prior, according to the GCIC, FTA, for what we believe is a traffic offense that occurred 14 years ago. And the state did bring up the charge in Hawaii. I believe the allegation was that he had broke quarantine and touched a turtle, a protected turtle. In any event, he does have this open complex case, 22 CR 2234. Thus far, the state has communicated its willingness
What in
to
the
not
low budget
cross
Phaedra
what
Park
we believe is the
lawyer
most
is
serious charge in the event Mr. Bishop decides to take a plea. He is scheduled for a bond hearing for that matter. It is tomorrow at 9 a.m. before Judge Heydrich. Regarding this case, Your Honor, it appears, and I've communicated with the state about this, that it has been charged incorrectly. The allegations of the warrant describe a violation of OCGA 42.4.13E or H, which is a misdemeanor, not the statute the state is currently pursuing, which is 42.5.15. 42.5.15 deals with bringing drugs into the guard lines. 42.4.13 describes inmates either trying to procure or obtain or having possession of drugs while within the guard lines. The key indicator should be that you cannot cross the guard line if you are already being detained behind the guard line in custody. In any event, we are looking forward to the preliminary hearing. It is scheduled for May 30th at 9 a.m. We'd also like
May
to point
30th.
out, Judge, that Mr. Bishop's safety has been compromised on several occasions while being detained in DeKalb County Jail. There's been incidents of extortion. He's even been violently attacked where he was stabbed through the hand. He's been forced into population, even though there's a notation in the jail system, according to the prior public defender who represented him at first appearance, that he is to be kept separate. Not to mention, Mr. Bishop himself has even requested protective custody to prevent being pressured or coerced by other inmates. In any event, Judge, we are asking for a total bond of $5,000, a surety bond on the charge. He does have employment lined up once he's released with Smith Solutions, MJC LLC, as a landscaping assistant. However, if the court were to impose a curfew, Mr. Bishop would definitely follow any, conditions that are set
Bullshit.
to the bond. Nothing further at this time, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. The court setting the bond at $15,000. He is to report to pretrial services within 48 hours. He can have no drugs on his person. Other conditions from the state.
Judge, seeing as though this offense was committed while he had another one pending, we would ask for house arrest with an ankle monitor and no contact with those three wives.
He must have on an ankle monitor, house arrest, and no contact with any of the co-defendants. All right, thank you. We'll move on to the next
For
matter.
the people that don't understand, he's not getting out. The reason why he's not getting out, I hate to burst your bubble, is because this is for another charge. If y'all heard from the beginning, y'all would have known that this has nothing to do with rape or anything else, gang. This has something to do with contraband. Okay? So if you heard the lady, she said he has another preliminary court hearing on the 30th. He also has another bond hearing, I believe it's tomorrow. He has the bond hearing tomorrow to see if he's going to get bond for the rape and shit cases, for the charges. So yeah, he's definitely not. For the people that was not paying attention to the little minor details that matter and make sense, that means he's not getting out technically, if you want to be technical. Okay? Also, y'all, we almost at my third box. Can y'all close